Yo guys, welcome back to another video, and as you can see, today's video we're going to be looking at Vanguard Vsjw, and of course this time it's going to be with Monarch, because we all have a Deadeye Vsjw. I mean, most people have a Deadeye Vsjw in their back pocket because we pretty much just only use them for his summons, his Arise summons, these ones, because they scale to enemy HP, so pretty much these summons are of course the most used ones. But yeah, a Monarch Vsjw used to be so meta back in the days when he first came out. Of course, there was debates between Monarch and Deadeye, but eventually Deadeye, of course, became far superior and had better longevity, of course, because the purely those summons. But yeah, Vanguard Vsjw used to be so good for speedruns and other stuff, and of course, just used to be good at that time of the game, you know? Was it update 4.5? But after that, he just fell off. So yeah, now with the Memorias, he's able to, of course, push onto high numbers, and you know, with those Memoria, he can push onto like crazy summon HPs as well for these ones. Bears, steals, and berries, you know, healer. That is this is the most useless shit ever, bro. I don't know why they put this in the game. Cause there's no scenario you're actually gonna use this. Like, tell me why I'm gonna waste 40 mana on this. Just tell me why. Never, so yeah. I don't know, it's just pointless shit there. But yeah, let's just get into showing you his damage numbers. So with no, of course, buffers, you can see his passives give him 30% range and 30% damage and 20% range, of course. Purely baseline when there's no summons at the track. So let's just of course upgrade him. You can see his damage with no buffers. He's at 820k damage. And of course let's check his EDPS. So right here, Vegeta, and yeah, his EDPS is like roughly like how much? Anyone? He's got Riki of course buffing him, but it's like 100 and 200k roughly, you know. And his summons are of course gonna be how much? 4 mil roughly, you know, nothing crazy. Let's just put this here so he can kill you off. No, he's not gonna kill you off, but we're gonna waste the summons. Because you can see this passive, when a summon dies in its range, he gains 50% more, of course, damage. So we're gonna have, of course, 9 more enemies. Well, 9 more summons down his range. So let's just spawn in some weaker enemies here. And of course have him auto rising. So of course he can get this 50% up. So we're gonna go like this. Spawn in some weak ones. Let's go 99. Well, I'll go for like 20 each. Yeah, 30 each. These alien cadets. So 1. Are they getting killed? I don't know. I can't see him just... Oh, he's targeting that. No wonder. But yeah, once he kills these guys, of course, he'll start summoning. And yeah, you can see his damage just start creep up. And there's at 2.45x. And of course, with the other buffers, we're going to place you. Get you down. We're going to use Aura of the Overlord. We're going to place our Newsman for that bubbled. And because we are running a Benimaru on our Vsjw, we get that 30% more damage to burning enemies. So we got bubbled and the burning enemies. So let's just place a few of these. And yeah, you can see Vsjw's damage now is at 1.77. Let's get the Brook buff going. This just takes forever, you know. Let me just skip this. And now yeah, you can see his damage numbers is up to, of course, 2.7x damage. Let's just stop flipping auto rising. Let's get some mana back. So let's just start killing off these guys. And now his mana is back. So now we are of course gonna put down our Urza through, of course, the caloric stone, because this is what we're gonna be using. Urza for her extra 50% damage buff, because it is very nice. So let's just pick this up. One more attack, please. And yeah, there we go. This is Vsjw's damage that we can get him up to. And of course, since he is unknown, Ruki is gonna be supporting him through that absolute zero effect. So if he procs the blast, or if he procs the spark one, it could be very nice, you know, for his own damage numbers. But you can see his DPS is pretty nice, and his nuke damage is very nice as well. Let's just judge off this guy. 525 million HP. And yeah, you can see it took like, was it 19 million? If he was burning and if he had bubbled, it would be a lot higher. But you can see the numbers that he can pull out is very nice. So yeah, let's just get into the Rift run. Okay guys, so first things first, I'm gonna run through of course the Memoria and of course the burb I am running on my Vsjw, so I'll place those two on screen. Oh yeah, you can see these ones are very crazy. So of course the burb is pretty crazy, giving him pretty good damage, of course, good crit as well. And then I've pulled a divinity on my Benimaru. And what's nice about Benimaru, it allows you to, of course, do 30% more damage to burning enemies. And what it means is that we can just run him with Newsman, and because Newsman is applying burn to all the enemies, he's just it's basically acting as another bubbled, another wanted, and with of course Newsman applying bubbled as well, he's basically doing 60% more damage to these guys. So take his damage stat and of course 60% more of it. And yeah, his numbers can vary of course because you can't really see his actual DPS because you know you got summons, you got Araya summons, of course you got elite ones as well, so it's like there's not really an effective way to calculate it. Of course that's why we just judge it off the effective DPS, but I would say it's not really the best way to judge it. But you can see at this upgrade, we leave him at this upgrade and he just clears these mobs, you know. The times where the mobs are hit with, of course, absolute zero, he's going to be doing some crazy damage. So let's say he hits the spark element, he is going to be doing, of course, what is it? Repeating the damage effect. So let's say he does like 7, I'm pretty sure he just doubles it, you know. So whatever he's just done, just does it again. And then if he does blast, of course he does 100% more damage. It's just very nice. And then of course there's a few other ones, but you know, the other one's not really the best. But yeah, if he does hit the holy one, he does buff all allies in range. You know, there's a few other effects that you can get, of course, with Rukia, but yeah, that's the cool thing about, I guess, unknown units. Of course, they're first off immune to stats effects and debuffs. And of course, they just have access to all of those effects. And since he is unknown, it just works well with Irons, giving him another spell. So yeah, you can see these summons are just gonna kill off Elastic Captain, which is just Luffy boss. And you can see these Boru summons here have a lot of HP, you know. Was that like 6 point something million HP? And yeah, these Arise summons killed them off. So at that point, I stopped with the Arise summons because I wanted to build the passive of him getting the summons dying in his range. That's why I used that. And yeah, you can see we're just gonna keep spawning in Berries and Bears. The reason for this, I should have spawned that bear in first. So Berry, of course, spawns in a bit like quicker because once a summon is on the track, Sanjuru does lose range. So yeah, so that Berry will be spawning in a bit like closer to the front. And yeah, it's just about hoping that Berry can get those kills, because once he does get kills, of course, it increases our damage. And just trying to keep spawning him as much times as we can. And you can see his numbers is very high, you know, like 6 mil per Berry. And of course, if he does crit, that's even more damage as well. And yeah, I was running that 126. If I had a 130, I think, it would have been like one attack and she just fully gets her meter back. So the swapping would be perfect. Just swapping between Vanguard and the other one. I forgot the other form, the second form. And that way you can, of course, have that full buff, that extra 20% as well. And after this berry does hit, I do spawn in this still, and you'll see how much HP this still has. It's so nuts. It starts off with like, was it 10 mil? 10 million, you know. And of course, it's gonna keep increasing and scaling upwards. The reason why I turned auto skip off is just so I can get this berry summon, of course. Getting a few more kills, so our damage is of course a higher number. You can see his effective DPS is like roughly like 600k, floating to 800k at some points. But yeah, these enemies are not leaving the front at all. Yes, we do have the burning enemies plus bubbled, but this is pretty nice feats for Sanjuru, you know. Considering he is a Vanguard from 4.5, this is like very good for him. And I'm not gonna get cocky, but I feel like he does perform better than Kage, you know, in his Rift. But Kage, of course, has her own benefits as well. But you can see that nuke did like 28 million. And that was just the duo one. And yeah, I made the mistake here, of course, not having any enemies near him. But yeah, that Sanjuru nuke took off another like, was it 10 to 18 million? And now his mana is low. But since we have that still at the back, who is just constantly regenning and building up the HP, it's just gonna hit him and kill him off easily. But you can see the damage that Sanjuru is doing just to the boss per hit. It's roughly like, was it like 3 million, 4 million? And I do get some mana back by, of course, killing these guys. And once I have 40 mana, I switch back to first. So I can target, of course, this boss. I spawn in that berry as well. The berry has roughly like 7 million. You can see that HP on the still is 35 million. So at this point, this boss just stands no chance. And there's just nothing he can do, you know. So I just sell my newsmen's so the boss can reach the still very soon. Just a lot quicker. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the run. So yeah, I just do a little cinematic shot at the end, of course. So yeah, I go into free cam and yeah, just see Dolphy just walk up and get absolutely demolished. So yeah, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.